the 70s, baby, but I love the 80s. The 80s with the flat tops. And that's when I started cutting hair in 1988. And I've had all different types of barbershops. I've owned a total of 4 barbershops. Sold all the barbershops, did really well. That brought me to the place where I'm at now, cutting people hair who just love to sit in my chair, meeting stars all over the place, being at the right place at the right time. But my claim to fame was cutting Sean Carter, Jay-Z. I was in a good area. My dad also had a barbershop in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn. What's up, Poppy? Truly my inspiration. Brooklyn, New York, that's where it all started. Where 174 Troop Avenue, my first barbershop. So I went back to my first barbershop, went to go visit, went to go see some of my old friends, mainly went to go check on the first shop I was ever in. My shop, I bought it, we built it from the ground up, and I'm happy to say 30 years later, that barbershop is still going strong. One of my first barbers, one of my first clients that I ever cut, I call him Big L. He literally, when I say literally, he literally, at the age of like 12 or 13, while I was cutting his hair, he always said, I want to be a barber. And because of him saying that he wanted to be a barber, he used to sit in the shop, he used to sweep up the shop, and he used to watch us cut hair. And then eventually he went on to barber school, started cutting people hair in the area. And when it was time for me to,
good morning, man.
When it was time for me to move on, I sold the shop, and it was sold to him eventually. And we took it to the next level. And I'm glad to see how 30 years later, something that I started, how it's still going. It's like how you see your children grow up, and you see how your children just grow up and become grown men, and you see that you did a good job. That barbershop is still jumping. This area right here is Bushwick Projects. That's where I was born, and that's where I was raised. Some people call it the hood, but I just call it home. You know, people say they never change. Sometimes change, I notice, is good. And when you evolve to become a better person, when you went to the next level in life where you have children and you want to leave a legacy behind, it changes you because you have something else to live for. It takes you to a whole nother place. It takes you to a whole nother mindset to help you build your brand, help you create who you will eventually become. This is the area I used to run up and down. This is Myrtle Avenue. Those are some of the projects. Something a little about my area. Where I set my first barbershop, it was in a central location. Bushwick was in one area. Tompkins was in another area. Sumner Projects was in another area. And Marcy was like right behind us. So where my barbershop was at, it was in a central location where it was in walking distance of all of these buildings where I had access to every single person in those projects. What made it different, what made my barbershop different than anybody else's barbershop was that I was young. When I opened up my first shop, I was 17 years old, and opening up that shop, it was different. We had the music bumping. Unlike the other barbershops, the traditional African-American barbershops, a lot of the older barbers, they would have on slacks, they would have on shoes, they would have on ties. They would be kind of like dressed up because they were the pillar of the community. And so we just did something different. Me and my play brother Matt, so what we did was we opened up this shop, and here's Tompkins Projects, but we opened up this shop and we had the music bumping. It was loud. It was different. We created a whole new trend when it came to barbershops. Nobody else in our area was doing this. And so when we opened up a shop, it was a 7-chair shop. And I promise you, we changed the whole culture. This is where I first cut Jay-Z, Sean Carter. He used to pull up right here in the same place where I'm pulling up. And let's get it from here. I'm going to take you inside. Let's go.
No. Quad. You gotta have the one.
I can say your name and say you now own the shop now.
Yeah. This is Big L. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's my barber from, man. We talking 89, 90.
Damn.
Long time, man. Long time. I said, we just vice now.
And how long now you own the shop? I used to cut your hair when you was how old you
Man,
was?
listen. Talking back, we talking about 13, 14.
And now you own the
Now
shop.
I own this spot right here. This man, listen. I remember coming here and just watching and learning.
Success story. That's a success story.
Yes. And
man,
inspiration, man.
Inspiration.
Real inspiration.
That's
Real
what's up,
inspiration.
man.
They want to do what I do, man.
That's what's up.
You ready? Flushing Broadway, guys.
You said for Flushing and Broadway?
Flushing Broadway, right? Hairback.
Hairband. Right.
That's what was hairback. Then you moved. It was on Flushing Ave.
Right.
Only for a hot minute though before you came here.
Right. You came here.
You know what I'm saying? Then when you came here, I remember you put the Dick Tracy in the dude here. Drew the Dick Tracy. Looked at it and dude. When the movie was coming out, that was popular too. I don't know what year that was.
That was about 90.
That was about 90.
That was like 1990.
Man, listen.
You taking it back, man.
Take it back.
That's
I can
what's
take
up
it
right
back.
there.
This is the first guys with the air tank,
With the air tank, air
the
compressor.
blowers.
Yep.
First ones, and man, all that. It's official. Speed, quality, designs, cuts, everything. Everything, man.
And that was in late 80s,
Yes,
early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
Early 90s.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
And now you banging them out.
Hey, man, you know, it goes on. You know, you start the legacy, you got to help continue it.
what's
So
up,
you
man.
know that. You never forget where you come from.
That's what's
Like
up.
how you got here.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's right.
Dropping knowledge for sure. Dropping knowledge for sure. Dropping knowledge for sure. Dropping knowledge for sure. Dropping knowledge for sure.